Smiling and being nice to people is one of the ways on how to be kind to others. Did you know that by being kind, it encourages others to be kind to us too? Numerous studies have shown that when someone is kind to us, we are more encouraged to return the favor back. Let me show you one example. Imagine when someone opens a door for you when you want to enter a shop and smiling pleasantly while doing it. Didn't you feel pleased and appreciated? Of course, you will feel like you want to return the favor back, and you can either return the favor by doing the same thing to the same person or by doing it to others just for being nice. I can promise you that the next time you do so, you will find pleasure by doing it. Being kind or nice to others can also be called as being polite. Being polite or act with politeness is crucial if we want people to act politely to us in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Koiman Zuraimi, and today I will explain to you on why it is important for us to be polite. Okay, so politeness is not an action or behavior that are only applicable to the people that we know. We must also be polite towards other people, especially the elderly. Not to forget, animals are also one of the living things that we need to be polite with. It is important for us to being polite since it could give many advantages to us in the future. Politeness or being polite to others has become a thing that is not practiced by people nowadays. Why is this happening? Okay, so one of the main reasons why this thing is happening is that it may be occurred because of the awkwardness of socializing as an effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. People are locked at home for a long period of time during the movement control order. Because of that, many people felt awkward when it comes to socializing with others, especially when it comes to interacting with someone that they barely know or didn't know at all. Because of that, some people may be impolite due to the loss of social skills caused by increased isolation during the movement control order. People didn't acknowledge on how to interact politely with others since they haven't used their socializing skill for a long period of time. It may take them some time to acknowledge on how to act politely with others like before. Other reason why people tend to be impolite to others may be caused by pandemic stress. Why I say this? This is because during the pandemic, many people were pushed to do something beyond their knowledge and limitation. As for example, universities and school students are pushed to adapt with the new way of learning during the COVID-19 pandemic, which was online distance learning. This new way of learning is not easy to be adopted by students since it was their first time experiencing it. Employees are also among the people that are affected by the pandemic stress. This is because they need to adapt with the new method of work, which was working from home. It is not easy for them to work from home because of many distractions while they are at home. As a result, online learning and work from home may be among the cause of pandemic stress. Other reason why politeness or being polite seems to be one of the things that is not applied by people is it may be caused by their surroundings or personal problems that lead them to also being impolite to others. Some people may experiencing personal problems that could lead them in also being impolite. Other than that, toxic people in their life may also be the cause of why someone being impolite to others. As for example, a broken family could cause someone to being impolite because of the stress of having a broken family. As a result, they tend to act rude to others because of the stress that they experience. Other than that, toxic surroundings like having a toxic friend that abuse them verbally or physically like bully could also lead someone to be rude. This toxic environment that they experience could lead them to being impolite to others. Okay, so these are among the factors of why someone is being impolite to others. Based on the factors that I stated before, there are many reasons on why people nowadays tend to be rude to others. This is not good since no one wants to be treated badly. Imagine if we encounter people who are rude or disrespectful. Isn't it intimidating? Facing a rude or disrespectful people is the last thing that I ever wanted to do since it is tiring and annoying at the same time to encounter one. Then in order to prevent from facing an impolite people, we need to first be impolite to others at the first place. It's actually not that hard to encounter people who are being impolite to others. Some people are not aware that they are being impolite at the first place. So in order to make them know of their impoliteness action, there are many ways that we could do in order to make them acknowledge of their impoliteness or rude actions. Pause and ask is one of the ways of encountering rude or impolite people. If someone is being rude to you, immediately pause. Don't try to be offensive or rude back, since it could just make the situation become worse. Just take a breath, take some moment for a little pause, because this might alert them on recalling back what they just said before and correct themselves. At the same time, it could give us a moment to stay calm and think instead of reacting offensively. Then, we could slowly talk with them in order to explain on how they are being impolite. This action could help someone to understand why their actions are hurtful and allow them to learn and grow at the same time. Next, slow talk is also one of the best options on encountering impolite people. If we encounter someone with rude manners, try to slow talk with them first. By slow talking with them, it could help them to understand the improper behavior and correct their behaviors in the future. If the person who are being rude to you are close to you, you can try to have one-on-one conversation with them. Try to wait and discuss about their behavior on private. Confront them on one-on-one to ensure that they acknowledge on their impoliteness. Instead of telling them that they were rude, try to help them understand how their action affect others. This could help them in growing on how to communicate better in the future. Last but not least, the last option of encountering impolite people is avoid them. But yeah, avoidance is not the best option since it teaches to run away from our problems, which is not good for our self-growth. But at certain situations, avoidance is just the exact way to prevent us from having a bad day. If someone is being rude to you, try to avoid the particular person. After all, there is no reason for an unpolite person to steal our sunshine during the day. You can see that it was not actually that difficult to tell someone the importance of being polite. Now, let's look on how does being polite could give tons of advantages to us in the future. Okay, so the benefit of being polite is we could make new friends. Okay, so why I said this is because by being polite to a stranger, it may end up in opening up a new friendship to us. This can and does happen to many of us without we notice. After all, most of our friends were actually strangers at the first place, weren't they? Keep in mind that being polite could lead us to have more friends in the future. This is because by being polite, it makes people feel comfortable when they are around us, which will let them to be one of our friends in the future. Okay, other than that, the benefit of being polite is it could give us good first impression. This is because by being polite to everyone we meet, including strangers, could expose the way of we treating others to people. By then, strangers will give a good perception on us, resulting a good first impression. When people talk about us, they will spread about good things and the reputation grows from that. By then, it is easier for us to gain trust from people. Other than that, the benefit of being polite is it could help us in completing our daily activities smoothly. Why I said this is because that by being polite to people, it could result in a polite and helpful response toward us too. As for example, if we ask our lecturer about our assignment politely, our lecturer surely will be more willingly to help us on completing the assignment and teach us politely in order to make sure that we understand what we need to do. Last but not least, being polite could also help to solve problems or conflicts. Okay, when solving a problem or conflicts, being polite could help to solve problem faster. This is because by being polite, tense situation or conflict could be prevented since we are helping on preventing to make a situation to become worse. By then, problems could reach to its solvent faster and every parties involved in the problems will agree with the solvent if we settle them in a polite way. By now, you should already see and know the importance of being polite to others. As you can easily see, being polite can be one of the most important yet easiest decisions that we could ever make. It surely gives tons of benefits to us and there is no harm on doing so. Thus, try to be polite to everyone even if they are being rude to us at the first place. By being polite, it could help us to encounter a rude person in more strategic way. At the same time, we could also receive a good and polite response from others if we act with politeness. To conclude, we need to start on behaving politely while doing anything in order to receive good and polite response from others in the future. It's not that hard to be polite nowadays. Smiling to others could be one of the way and one of the easiest way to show politeness to others. So what are we waiting for? Let's start to spread positivity and politeness at the same time. That's all from me. Thank you.